pleasure to introduce and bring to our stage Lisa Leslie.
No one on my all-boys team would pass to me, but then I just kept winning.
It's showtime in the Forum yet again. Nikki McCrimmon.
I'm Lisa Leslie. I was considered one of the pioneers of the WNBA. I played 13 seasons for Los Angeles Sparks and won 2 WNBA championships. I have 4 Olympic gold medals. I am the first female player to dunk in the WNBA.
What's she gonna do? She dunked it! For the first time in WNBA history, someone has dunked in a game. It's Lisa Leslie with the
Dunk after dunk.
Oh, slammed it.
Two-hander? You got that from me.
You're Lisa Leslie, center, LA Sparks.
Ray, call me Lisa.
Okay, Lisa.
Lisa Leslie! Hello. What are you doing in my park? I don't know. Hey, aren't you the kids from all that?
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Oh,
Hey, we love you too.
Right, whatever you say. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hey, me and you, one-on-one, any day.
You better get that out of here, little man. You all right?
We can shoot, shoot-a-loo-doo with you. Shoot, shoot-a-loo-doo with you. Shoot, shoot-a-loo. I will never play you one-on-one.
On behalf of UPS, we invite you to join us for the 2013 NCAA Men's Final Four in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm now a co-owner of the LA Sparks. I'm a mom with kids and a husband. With our daughter, we had her playing and hitting tennis balls in the garage. We stuck a tennis ball with a string and it hung down, and she'd take the tennis racket and just hit the ball. She had no idea we were preparing her to hopefully one day become one of the best tennis players in the world. Fingers crossed. I think the key to becoming a champion, it's important to, number one, to write down your goals. I've been a goal setter since I was in the 9th grade. I would write down my short-term goals. I just attack life the same way I did in basketball. I just go after it. So I love the motivation that sports and life bring. It's such a close correlation, the fact that it's hard. It's not always easy. You're not always happy, and you're not always successful. But you push through, you keep trying, you persevere. I am a broadcaster on Sports Zone. I'm happy to see Pau Gasol,
Yeah.
and there are times when he misses chippies, and we're like, come on, Pau, man, you
No,
gotta
you're
get
like,
stronger.
come on,
yeah,
Pau.
I am.
You're
I'm
screaming
like
and
that.
yelling
But there
in
are
here,
so
yeah.
many times where I love Pau. I love what he does. I love his footwork. I love the way he faces up. I like when he knocks down the 17-foot jump shot. I'm just a little mad he took off for tendonitis. We all have tendonitis. You just got to play through that and get some ice. But beyond that, I think Pau is great. What I'm disputing is that Dwight Howard has not showed up all season. Cooper's
Smooth
going through
movement.
menopause. That's where he's going through. Every week he got another issue. Dude. I think I'm tough when times get tough, and I'm a winner.
Join me, Lisa Leslie.
Passed to me, but then I just kept winning.
Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing today? It's always a little embarrassing to come on after that video, even though I sent it in. Just because it just shows so many aspects of my life. But I'm so happy to be here. When they told me it was about women, empowering women and unity, I was like, count me in. I'll be there to hopefully inspire and just share some of my life story with you and how I've been able to persevere in pretty much a male-dominated, on all my jobs, whether it was from playing basketball or obviously in broadcasting, even a little bit in acting. I'm always surrounded by men, but I've learned to embrace that and use my femininity, use my brains, use my bronze to excel. So I wanted to share a little bit about Lisa Leslie because I always feel like I talk about her in third person a lot. My husband usually tries to use her for mostly restaurants and getting reservations. So I always talk about Lisa Leslie in third person, so don't be weirded out by it. But I wear so many hats, so I'm just going to take you back a little bit. I love quotes, so I always start out with just having different quotes, and this one obviously you can read for yourself. But I think quotes, it's really important to have something positive dropped in every single day. My mom taught me that, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life story. I'm going to fake it as if this clicker works. Sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. We're going to get close now, because that's me when I was like 7 years old. And the reason why I bring this picture, well, I think I look really cute, one. But you know, at 7, when you're born a girl, I always say it's not our fault that we were born girls, right? We just want to participate in this world too. We just want to be leaders. And that 7-year-old girl, I had no idea that there was really a difference between girls and boys. You just dream, right? We have these dreams, you have these aspirations. And I always remember when I was that age that it was career day at my elementary school, and a speaker came and we sang this song that said, "I'm somebody special, especially special, and there's nobody exactly like me." Now, those were the exact words because I really remember that, but I also believed it. And on that day, I was like, wow, like, I'm so special. What do I want to do? What do I want to be? And well, I wanted to be a weather reporter. And I thought about weather because I saw a woman on television and she was dressed in a dress, and I thought, wow, that's me. I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to tell the weather. It didn't quite pan out that way, but, you know, I made it. Next slide. So here's olive oil, and I don't know the ages of most of you, but okay, don't raise your hand, but you know olive oil, right? So olive oil, yeah, the kids used to call me olive oil in school, and I thought that doesn't feel really special, but I love olive oil. She was long and tall, and so was I. So let's just break the ice now. I'm 6'5" without these heels, probably 6'7" with them on. My husband's 6'7", so it all worked out. I was 6 foot in the 6th grade. I know, right? Taller than most of you now, and I'm like, wow, God has such a sense of humor, right? So I was taller than everyone, including my teacher, of course. And so my mom was just always telling me all these positive affirmations, and I always bring up my mom. My mom was a single parent. My mom drove an 18-wheeler truck. Next slide, please. And what happened was I started to write my name everywhere. I was writing it all over the place. Cursive, all these different ways. And so my mom says, "Lisa, why are you writing your name all over, everywhere you go? Why are you writing your name?" And I said, "Because, Mom, one day I'm going to give out autographs." And so she said, "Well, who are you going to give autographs out to?" And I said, "I haven't decided who my audience is yet, but I know I'm going to give out autographs one day." So I'll tell you with that, be careful what you ask for, because I give out autographs absolutely every single day of my life now. But I find that the beautiful part about people wanting my autograph is that if it makes them happy, if it puts a smile on someone's face, it's usually great unless I'm eating or, with my kids. Then sometimes I say no, except to kids. So I've been writing my autograph for a really long time in hopes of giving out autographs. But the beautiful part about that, again, is that when you're a young girl, you just dream to have your dream and you want to be great, and you don't realize that you're going to be treated different because of your gender, or you don't realize that there's going to be obstacles out there because you're a girl. And that's what I love. That's what I also teach my daughter to this day. It's not that you want to plant the seed that you can't. You have this dream, and you have to fight, and you have to persevere, and you have to keep pushing regardless of being a woman. So I want you guys to know that. Next slide, please. So here's my mom, who drove an 18-wheeler truck at one point across country. Yeah, I know. I'm like, wow. She was like amazing. She is amazing still. But the thing that I got from Mom is she was always so positive, and she's always encouraging us. She said, "Lisa, you're going to be taller than most people. Some people grow on the inside and some people grow on the outside, and our family's been blessed enough to do both. So you're going to have to hold your head up high, and people are going to make comments every single day of your life about how tall you are," right? Which, hence the comments when I came. She started jumping because I was so tall, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, Mom. Every single day someone says something about my height. But what I took from my mom drove this truck, and she did what she had to do because she raised myself and my 2 sisters as a single mom. But Mom always had a few things that I love. She always had her nails polished, and she always had her lipstick like tucked in her bra. So she kept her lipstick on. And I mean, she's got to be like the most beautiful truck driver you've ever seen. And so that was inspiring to me. But Mom always shared with my sisters and I the 7 Ps. Next slide. And so the 7 Ps I have to share with you is proper, prior, preparation, prevents piss poor performance. Those 7 Ps, you got to hold on to those. Because the 7 Ps was just really about you hear Oprah talked about it, like where preparation and opportunity meets, it equals success, right? The 7 Ps were really important, and she would always tell us that. If you prepare, if you try, if you work hard, you can make it, you'll be successful. But if you try to take shortcuts to getting to that success, you probably won't do well. And so it started obviously in school and making sure we worked hard and studied in school so that we would make great grades, right? And then when you didn't, if you try to cut corners, it never panned out. So the 7 Ps are always something that stuck with me, and I try to apply that pretty much in everything I do. And that's probably how I became an overachiever. Just wanted to throw that out. Next slide. So for me, I just going to tell you a little bit of my basketball background, because I know clearly I'm here because of what Lisa Leslie did. I played basketball here in Southern California. I'm originally from Compton, California. Woohoo, somebody from Compton, hey. We made it, no. And then I moved from Compton to Inglewood to Hawthorne and Ladera and the Arena and Calabasas. That's kind of my whole path of living here in Southern California. But I went to Morningside High in Inglewood, California. And the things that I like to tell about that story is that I was on this team. It was my first time going to Inglewood, and they had a really good team, but they hadn't won a state championship. And so my sophomore year, I'm on the team, and I just kept growing. So I was 6'4" when I entered high school. I know, right? And then I was 6'5" by my junior year. But this particular picture is from my sophomore year. I was 6'4", and my team made it to the state championship for the first time ever. And there was 4 seconds left on the clock. My coach, Coach Scott, great coach, draws up a play, which would be simple, right? Any person in this room would say, throw it to me, wouldn't you? I would think so. Probably not a good idea, though. 4 seconds left on the clock. They throw me the ball right up under the basket. I'm the closest person to the basket, right? Yeah. So I missed that shot with 4 seconds left, and we lost the state championship. And I share that story with you because we don't always succeed, right? We have our failures. And for me as a young girl, that moment really helped me to grow into the person that I am, because by missing that shot and by crying forever and never changing my clothes for a month, but I started to write down my goals, and it was then that I realized in order for me to get back to that point, I had to work harder. I had to figure out what I had done wrong. I had to educate myself. I had to learn and study the game more. I had to figure out how I could make my teammates around me better. And so from that, we went back to the championship the next year, which was really hard to do, and we won back-to-back state championships. Oh, don't applaud now. Okay, you can clap now. Go ahead. But I tell you that because I feel like when you fail, sometimes in our failures are a lot of blessings, and you have to really work through them when you don't succeed at first, when you continue to try. And it sounds so cliche, but I'm telling you because it actually happened in my life. So we went on, we won the 2 championships. And then the other thing that happened in high school, I was one of the top academic students in the school, but I was also the top athlete in the nation. I was recruited by over 200 schools. And there was this one day that my teammates, every year in this school, they would do where the senior would try to score as many points as possible. So they kept throwing the ball to the same player. So my freshman year, the senior scored 55 points. My sophomore year, the senior scored 60 points. My junior year, the senior scored 68 points. Well, here it is. It's my senior year. I'm the senior captain, and I have to try to score more than 68 points. I don't know if you heard the story, but I scored 101 points and a half of a high school basketball game. Go figure. Now, the interesting part was that the team quit at halftime. I mean, well, you know, you can't blame them, but they quit at halftime, and so there's a record of 101 points in one half of a game, and so that was a part of my high school year. But I always attribute it to my sophomore year. Losing that championship got me so focused to work hard and to figure out how to make my teammates and myself better so that we can go back and win. Now that, next slide, please. Okay, and then that's us winning the championship. Okay, next slide. But the key that I found, and people always ask me about the success that I've had just over my whole career, I want to share with you. And it was really about, since the 9th grade, I've been doing this even to this day, is writing down my goals. And a lot of times people, you have dreams and you don't always go after them, but goal setting is really important, and I write them down. So my short-term goals are goals that I want to achieve within 1 year. So I would constantly write these goals down, and even to this day. What I would do back in high school, obviously I was writing down, grades that I wanted to make in school, and then I would write down whatever points, rebounds, whatever it is that I wanted to accomplish on the court, I would write those things down. And then my next one, for my next slide, is my long-term goals, and those are goals that I wanted to achieve within 5 years. And so, again, when I was in high school, I would write down the colleges that I wanted to go to. So I chose USC. Any Trojans in the house? All right, fight on. Sorry, Bruins. Fight on, Trojans. No, just kidding. So I chose to go to USC. My undergrad is in communications, and so I just really loved SE, and we were pretty cool. So anyway, so I chose to go to USC, but my long-term goals continue. So even through playing, I would always write down these goals that I wanted to achieve, and it really helped me to be successful, and something that I want to pass on, because sometimes people, you talk about what you want to do, but you're afraid to write it down. So I believe in writing them down so that it's tangible. I would put my goals, and I still do. You put my goals on my mirror in the bathroom and on the refrigerator, because you should brush your teeth at least twice a day, and you got to eat. So you get a chance to see these goals over and over, and it just really reinforces what you should do in terms of making sacrifices about what it is that you want to do. Okay, next slide. So here I am. I just wanted to make sure you guys know I had 4 Olympic gold medals because they mentioned it. Again, another goal. So I'll share a small story with you. I was on the USA team. I made my first USA team when I was a junior in high school, but I was on one of the USA teams, and we lost to Brazil, which, hi to all the Brazilians, and if there's any Brazilians in the house, it was great. They beat us, but we had to ride the bus back home, with them, on the same bus. And so the Brazilians were all on one side of the bus, and the Americans were on the other side. And so the Brazilians obviously didn't think they were going to beat us, and they bet their coach that if they beat us, they get to shave his head. Yeah, but except they shaved his head on the bus while we were there. That was a problem. So with those goals, my goal was that we will never lose again, and especially not to Brazil. So I won 4 gold medals straight. That happened in a world championship. We won 4 gold medals straight. Our team now is working on they've won 6 gold medals straight since I retired, and hopefully we'll go for a 7. So when you talk about dominance, talk about setting goals, well, it all started with the Brazilians shaving their head, sorry. Next slide. So there's my 4 gold medals. I usually don't bring them out. I've hidden them a few times. I've misplaced them. They're typically right up under my mattress, and I forget. But so then I went on to get my master's in business. And so the important thing about that to me is that I've always had this stigma that I didn't want to be stereotyped as just a basketball player. It's kind of what I did, but it's not who I am. And education is so important. And I feel like no matter what goal it is that you have to make sure that you're honing your skills, that you're educating yourself. And again, when it comes to being in a group and working with a lot of men, having the education and having the skills, when you have that, as I talked about, the brains to do whatever the job is, the beauty is always going to be the benefit, but having the brains to have the competence to get out there and do it. So some of the messages that I wanted to share with you guys is that I've gone on from playing basketball, writing down my goals. And so my goals were that I wanted to be a model, and I had a chance to model with Wilhelmina, which was an amazing little career of a lot of doors shut in your face, but I made it. I wanted to be a broadcaster, so I got a chance to work, as you saw, for ABC locally. I work for TNT. I'm also on what's called the Players Only with all NBA guys and little me. And then I work for CBS Sports Network, which on a all women's talk show, which is called We Need to Talk. Sorry, fellas. But we cover all sports across the board. So this, again, these jobs that I have, I know I have like 7 jobs, but these jobs that I have are all from me writing them down and saying this is exactly what I want to do. These are the jobs that I want to do, and then working backwards. When I figure out what that goal is that I want to achieve, how do I work backwards to figure out what does it take for me to do that job? Okay, next slide. So I like to break it down in the idea that we have choices. You can click the slide and the word should come up. And it comes down to choice, right? We have choices in our lives that if you have these goals, don't be afraid to write them down. There's a great book by Whitney Johnson, and she talks about disrupting yourself. And disrupting yourself is that oftentimes they say statistically 83% of people do a job that they hate. Every single day they go to a job that they hate. And I feel like it's important to make sure that you're doing a job that you love. It's important to do a job that you would do for free. And it's important to do a job that you're completely passionate about. You wake up every day and you have that passion for it. So I look at choice. Choice, the C is for competence, the H is for hard work. Being competent is going to be important, like I talked about, educating yourself about what it is that you want to do. But it takes hard work. I didn't get gold medals. I didn't receive all of these accolades that I have for just showing up or just because I'm 6'5". Trust me, it took a lot of hard work. But in anything that you do, as we tell our children even, it's going to take a lot of hard work. But optimism, being positive, sometimes that positive energy and staying really strong and encouraged in what is your job that you're doing. When I work with the guys all the time, I mean, they respect me because I work hard. I'm there early. I'm making sure that whatever it is that we're talking about, if it's the stats, I know the game. I know exactly what's happening. I've done my homework, and I'm able to hold those conversations. But I simply try to outwork them. I really do, the same way I did in basketball. It's just about, you know, I don't know if you always hear that sort of that saying that you have to show up and you have to be better. Well, it's kind of true. You have to be better. But at the same time, you have to be competent about what you're doing, work hard. And then the other thing is the integrity. Wow. I mean, sometimes we lose sight of what that word means, but it's important to work with integrity, to make sure that you show up and that you're working with people of integrity. And if they're not, don't do the deal, don't do the job. It's not worth it, because sometimes people put money ahead of that. And for me, the fact that I work with so many great people and people of integrity, it really makes the job that much more better. And having the courage. I know that you guys are, you know, in real estate, and I'll get to that part about my career and being in real estate. Also, my husband is a realtor. We moved from California to Florida. Just thought I'd throw that. We've been in Florida for about 7 months. We sold all of our properties here. We had commercial real estate as well as residential real estate. We sold it all. We packed up. We moved to Florida. You guys got to get out soon. Yeah, taxes. Oh my God, it's amazing. But you have to have the courage. And, you know, my husband said, babe, we either got to go now or we're going to be here another 18 years, you know, with our kids in school. And once we did the numbers, it was just like, it's robbery, man. Okay, sorry. But so you got to have the courage to, you know, basically make a change. Or if you're not in a job that you love, or if you're in a job that you love, have the courage to, the other thing I wanted to say about women, negotiation. That's something we really got to be strong on, because men are really strong in negotiating, and sometimes we're not. But think about it. Outside of your job, we would negotiate the crap out of like some groceries or something, right? Not to be stereotypical, but you know, there are certain things that we negotiate on, or things with our children. Don't be afraid to negotiate. And then execution. Finish the job. Right? You have to finish the job no matter what you do. In sports, I had to finish the job. In real estate, you have to finish the job. In broadcasting, you have to finish the job. So don't forget to execute whatever deal it is that you have. Next slide. This does not work, by the way. Okay, so we went through it. So competence, making sure you get your education. I am getting ready to go to real estate school in Florida now to get my real estate license there. Yeah, right? Come on. It's a big deal. Because all the laws are different there. But what I love about that is that I can't just go out there and just think, okay, because I've been in real estate here in California, I'm going to know what to do there. I have to go back to school. So I start school in May. My husband just finished. He kind of went through the 7-day course and did it fast. I don't have that much time. So I'm going to go back to get my license in May in California, which will be great. And then we're going to, you know, hopefully he's going to do commercial real estate. I'll do residential. And, you know, we'll just start all over and flip properties and figure it out and hopefully get some clients. When you guys get ready to move, look me up. I'll be ready for you when you get ready to come to California. Okay, next slide. So these slides, you can go through them. Hard work, as I talked about. Optimism. Go ahead. Integrity. And then courage, and then execution. So those are sort of my keys of what I try to use no matter what job that I'm doing, to make sure that I sort of follow that. So here you can see I wear a lot of hats, and I love it. From, you know, playing basketball and being a co-owner with the LA Sparks, that was something that I really love, that opportunity. Magic and the Dodger guys, everybody swooped in and they bought the team, which just won the championship. So that was a great opportunity. I also just finished my second book. You guys heard about my first book, which Don't Let the Lipstick Fool You. But my second book is called From the Court to the Boardroom, and this book I'm really loving. I just spoke about it on Friday, and so I'm starting my book tour with that. But this book is really about, for those of you who've played any sports or are you competitive, you have a little bit of competitive nature in you, and you have to be, especially in real estate, you have to be competitive. To use those things to reignite that competitive and using that competitive spirit in business. You have to be able to compete, but you also have to be able to make people around you better. One of the things that I've learned from basketball that I apply in life is that you work with people, right? We all have colleagues, whether they're above you or below. How do you inspire other people to be great? How do you get other people to work hard? And I used to figure out with my teammates, I had to have these interpersonal relationships, right? Someone's struggling, shooting, I would go meet with them early. Hey, let's get some shots up. Let me see what I can do to help them get better. Each individual person, well, in business, it's sort of the same thing. When you work in groups, some people are slackers, right? Don't raise your hand. Some people don't give it their all, right? And some of us just simply work harder than other people. But the important thing is, how can we make other people around us better? What can we do to encourage and make people better so that we can lift each other up? And the other thing is about mentorship, the importance of mentorship. If there is someone that is doing a job that you want to do, contact them, ask them, is it possible that you can be a mentor for me? Or is there someone that you can mentor for those of you who are in the position and where you want to be? How can you help others? How can you give back? Mentorship is something that I think sometimes get lost. We have to figure out how we can help other people to get better. So I just thought I'd show you that I wear a lot of hats. I'm also a wife and a mom. Next slide. I enjoy being a wife. There's my husband. Told you. He's 6'7". So my husband's a pilot by day and a realtor. Well, he has 5 jobs as well, but he's a pilot for UPS. He's the captain on the 767, but he's also, like I said, in real estate, and he does commercial real estate. Next slide. Then I thought I'd let you know as a mommy, too. Those are my babies, Lauren and MJ. MJ, they were going to come today, but MJ got sick, so I didn't bring him. He's over at the hotel. Next slide. He just turned 7 yesterday. I'm so excited. And we have a blended family. I have 2 daughters by marriage. One just graduated from the Air Force Academy. The other one's a nurse in Oklahoma. So that's my family. That's me. This is what I'm doing. But I wanted to next slide for me. Thank you. It comes down to choice and making the choices that can help you to be great. If you're not doing the job that you want to do, make sure that you don't be afraid to disrupt yourself and figure that out. Write it down. Write down your goals. Your short-term goals are things that you want to accomplish in this year. And even in real estate, sometimes you have a certain amount of properties that you want to sell, or you want to move from a certain area. Whatever it is, don't be afraid. And I always tell people, you have to think about what makes you happy. That's the key to life for me. What makes me happy? And I could be coaching. I could do a lot of things where I can make a lot more money, but I don't think my marriage would survive that. If I was out coaching, I could coach in the NBA, I could coach in the WNBA, but I don't think that my family, that's the right piece for me. And so what I do is I do what makes me happy. Broadcasting is great. I get to make my own schedule. I'm still able to be home. I participate, take cookies to school. I get a chance to do all of those different things, but at the same time, I get to work as well. And next slide. And here's if you guys are interested in the book, it's From the Court to the Boardroom. We actually don't get our books in until next week, so I don't have any here to sign, but you can pre-order if you like. The next slide we'll have, it's From the Court to the boardroom.com. I co-wrote this with my business partner, Bridget Chambers, who is the CEO, and she's just a phenomenal woman. And we wrote this book sort of in first person where you really eventually don't know who's talking, because from my experience in playing basketball and business and from her experience as a CEO, eventually it takes the same perseverance and hard work and the dedication to inspire people and how to be a great leader. You have to also be a great follower and a great listener. And so our voices eventually get intertwined in a way that has come out really great. And we just talk about reigniting sort of that passion, that competitive spirit that you have, and how to reach further and making sure that you're helping people and volunteering. So that's my spiel, guys. Do you guys have any questions for me? It's kind of hard to see because it's really bright. Does anyone have any questions? Yes? Yeah, you kind of got to grow, jump a lot of rope. Dunking, you know, I've been dunking since I was in the 9th grade. I started dunking because it rained one day on my track practice, and they sent us in the gym. I was doing my high jump approach, so I had no idea I could even dunk. Actually, I was doing my high jump approach to the rim, and I just grabbed the rim, and the coach was like, "Wait, hold on!" And he went and got a tennis ball, and then I dunked it. He got a volleyball, and I dunked it, and he got a basketball. And so I figured out I could dunk ever since that day, and I don't know. It's a pretty good feeling. Any more questions? You guys are like, just feed us. It's lunchtime. We've had enough, right? All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.